was reading First Kings chapter 13 yesterday, and I got to the part where they spoke about the old and the new prophet. And baby, when I tell you I would have failed that test, I would have failed that test. So let's talk about it. This is trial and error. I'm making brownies. And like I said last time, sometimes we're just going to yap about Christ. So let's yap about Christ. So the story goes a little bit like this. God told the new prophet, hey, after you give this prophecy, do not eat and drink from anybody, and also do not return the way you came to this land. So that was the word that God gave him. Now, when he got around the new prophet was like, hey, let me offer you something to drink and eat at my home. And then the new prophet goes, hey, so God told me I shouldn't eat or drink anything in this land and I shouldn't return the way I came. So the new prophet was like, the old prophet was like, hey, no, the angel of the Lord appeared to me and he told me, no, it was the other land that you went ahead and told the king the prophecy to. But here in my home, you are able to eat and drink. So what do you think the new prophet did? He believed the old prophet and he went to the house and he ate and drank. And do you know what happened to him after that? After he left his home, he got snatched up by a lion. Yeah. So, two things I learned from this story, and two reasons why I see myself in this story. So, for one, disobedience, right? God told the new prophet exactly what to do. Exactly what to do. And although he obeyed it in one instance, because he got tired and hungry, he decided, hey, the angel of the Lord gave this old prophet a word to give me, so I'm going to go ahead and beg because of his discomfort. He had a discomfort, so he had no choice in his mind but to disobey the word because he thought, he was deceived. And that's just it. So there's that. And the second thing is the fact that outside of the disobedience, he was deceived, and because he was deceived and he didn't, pay attention to what God had told him, he got killed because of it. So the disobedience then led to a death, and then also just not listening to what God told you, and instead listening to what the old prophet had told you. So as I was reading this story, I have to go into my commentary. I had to go into my commentary and figure this out because I was like, like, why was God so harsh with this individual? And of course, we'll never know exactly why, but one, I presume it was because of his disobedience. But at the same time, the old prophet may have been in Christ at one time and then fell short. He essentially, and I'm speaking about the old prophet, con- like pretty much told the new prophet that God essentially contradicted himself without blatantly saying that. But like, oh no, he said it in this way instead of that way. Is that what really God said though? And that's exactly why I saw myself in this story two different ways. One was, well, back then, the old me, um, was that one, I was easily deceived. I was so naive, and I used to get so upset, like when people called me naive, and I was just like, "What are you talking about?" Like, no, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, super naive. You could have told me anything in regards to like Jesus said and God said, and I would have ran with it. I would have believed it. I would have took everything at face value. I wouldn't have no depth into the person, or I just created this own story in my mind that this is what this person was about, and I would have easily got deceived. So yeah, I would have failed that test. The second part was the fact that the disobedience, you know exactly what God told you, but because you got tired and weary and hungry, you were like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, he meant something else. Boy, I tell you. Ooh, that looks so good. The way my mind would have ruminated on, is that what God said? And another place that we've seen something similar to this was the story of Adam and Eve. So I noticed this video has gone on a little bit longer than it should, but either way, I'm going to upload a part 2, so stay tuned for that while I finish these brownies. Thank you all for watching, and I encourage you all to comment. Let's discuss, let's have a conversation about being deceived and your walk with Christ. Like, let's go. Let's talk about this, you all. So part 2 is coming up. Thank you all for watching. All right, bye.